You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast. It's that time of year again. It's the IPL. It's our preview shows, and we begin today. I'm Jack Hope. I'm joined by Ross Legg. How are you doing, Ross?
I'm good, and I'm sporting the Sunrisers Hyderabad jersey for this show. So that is in honour of our Discord and Patreon member Sudeep, who is a Sunrisers Hyderabad fan, and he bet last year that Sunrisers make the playoffs, and they did. And here I am fulfilling that bet that I would wear the jersey because I thought they wouldn't.
I mean, it's been a lucrative bet for us over the last couple of years, isn't it? So
about $300, I think, up. But you know,
And we've got Max Throw Brown. How are you doing, Max?
hello, yeah, very good, thank you. I'm on the wine celebrating because this is our special show, our favourite show of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to go through all 10 IPL teams. We're going to give you the lowdown, the strengths, the weaknesses, the captains, the coaches. We're going to compare them to a weapon. So if you want an entry route into the team, we'll talk you through that from the perspective of something that we all understand well, weapon systems. And we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Hopefully, if we've got time before the IPL starts, which is next Saturday, I believe we'll also squeeze in another show where we do some broader predictions about runs, etc., and maybe answer some questions. But we're going to start with teams, and the way we're going to do that, we're going to start bottom up from last year. So we'll begin with the Mumbai Indians, and we will finish with the Kolkata Knight Riders, and the other 8 teams will be sandwiched at various points along the way. And finally, our plan at the time of speaking is to release this as 3 podcast episodes. So we'll do 3 on the first episode, 3 on the second episode, and then a bumper 4th episode, 3rd episode with 4 teams. So make sure you click
playoff makers from last year.
Yeah, exactly. The big ones. So make sure you click like and subscribe. Follow us wherever you're listening so that you get all of that content beamed directly into your ears when we release them. Cool. Everyone understand on the show? Ross.
I do, but we do have to mention our partner, don't we? Which is Pitch Magazine. It is a quarterly production that delves into approximately 30 different sports, ranging from football, cricket, rugby, golf, MMA, boxing, athletics, Formula One. This extensive coverage provides readers with a comprehensive view of world sport. It provides in-depth storytelling. It's renowned for its long-form articles that explore the intricate details of various sporting topics, including the breaking down of Harry Brooks' technique. So if you're a big Delhi fan, why don't you look at that of what you could have had?
When you say the breaking down of Harry Brooks' technique, Ross, is that the breaking down in the sense of analysing it, or the breaking down of how it's fallen apart?
Well, you'll have to read Pitch Magazine to find out, Max, and you would be doing so on high-quality print. The magazine is printed to the highest standards on a premium reading experience on offer. Subscribers receive 4 issues every year because it covers each of the different seasons, and it's only £10 every 3 months. It's £10 every 3 months, providing a cost-effective way to deal with things and keep up to date with the latest in sports. So if that sounds like something our listeners are interested in, because you are beloved listeners, you get 15% off your first order if you go to pitch-mag.co.uk and use code PITCH plus CricketPod 15. That's PITCH plus CricketPod 15 for 15% off your first order. Let's get on with the IPL. And who's starting off with Mumbai Indians?
It's me. It's me, Ross. I'm kicking us off this year. It has nothing to do with the fact that I decided who was doing which teams. That's just how it is. The Mumbai Indians, they're the Manchester United of the IPL world, aren't they? And the season they had last year was somewhat akin to Man United's attempt at, performing in the Premier League this year. All of the glitz and the glamour of Mumbai and the Ambanis, it counted for not very much last year. The high-profile poaching of Hardik from Gujarat, the captaincy shenanigans, all of that. It was a bit of a soap opera, and they finished rock bottom. But the mega auction has been, the mega auction has gone, and it means wholesale change for everyone. So the question is, obviously, can Mumbai Indians return to their former glories? Hoping to lead them in that venture will be Mahela Jayawardene, head coach, and Hardik Pandya, as previously mentioned, captain of various other Indian captains, the captain of captains, Hardik Pandya, and in their quest for greatness, it's quite interesting what they did. I mean, obviously, way back there was an auction reaction show that you guys covered beautifully while I was away having a lot of fun on my honeymoon. But there's a real sign of direction of travel from Mumbai in terms of how they put their side together. They've been flexing their global franchise muscle quite clearly. There's a few notable names from the SA20 winning MI Cape Town side in Ryan Rickleton and Corbin Bosch and Trent Bolt coming in, and a couple of other names with recent SA20 success under their belt. Lizard Williams and Mujib, both having had pretty good times of it in South Africa. So you can see they're leaning on that experience. They're leaning on the other tournaments in putting their side together. And it'll be interesting to see how they all fit together, because Mumbai had some notable weaknesses last year. I mean, well, they had many because they finished last, but there were a couple that stood out, right? Number one would be the lack of quality spin options. They really struggled in that area. There's a bit of an over reliance on an injured Jasprit Bumrah in the pace department, and they did end up getting to a bit of a stage where, despite all the, on paper, the power and excitement they had with the bat, they did often peter out quite a bit towards the end of innings. So I guess the question is, have they fixed those problems? And well, I'd say yes. I'd say largely they've done that. If we set aside the fact that Bumrah is going to be out for the first few games by the looks of things, because he's still working and recovering from that back injury he sustained in the BGT, they've pulled in a number of top tier talented players. Trent Bolt is back to lead the power play bowling. We all know what he's got in his locker. He's an experienced campaigner. He is one of the most skillful new ball bowlers going in T20 cricket. So reuniting him with Bumrah will be very exciting. But alongside that, they've also picked up Deepak Chahar. So they were even in a situation now where, when Bumrah's back fit, they wouldn't even have to bowl Bumrah in the power play if they didn't want to. They could save all of Bumrah's overs for the death. Imagine 4 straight overs of Jasprit Bumrah right at the end of an innings. So it's enough to strike fear into even the bravest of opposition batters. On the spin front, you've got Mitchell Santner coming in, who's obviously he's having a really good year. He's getting better and better. They've got Mujib, the mystery spin, and the exciting young talent of Ghazanfar, the young Afghan.
He's been ruled out. He's been ruled out. Injured.
Well, he was out of the Champions Trophy, so not a surprise. So that's their second backup spinner out of the way. But never mind, they've still got 2 others. And they're your main issues, I think, covered probably. Hardik's back as well, looking like he can bowl his full complement. He put in a lot of work in the Champions Trophy and looked as good as he's been. Sky still there. He's still Sky. Tilak Varma, he gets better every year. They've kept the core that's been performing. They do still have Rohit, who he's 37, but he's still a good option at the top of the order. So I mean, I haven't even mentioned like some of the other. Will Jacks is there. I haven't even got to Will Jacks yet, and they picked him up. It's an exciting lineup they've got, lads. Where are you sat on Mumbai Indians? How do you reflect on the side they're looking to put together?
It's nice that they're going to have some bowling this year. That's quite nice. So I think they'll give themselves a pretty good basis. And yeah, any team with this kind of batting lineup is going to be a real handful. And it feels like Mumbai Indians are getting back to where they were. They've kind of had a couple of years where you've kind of been like, is this really the best you can offer? And they've made some big investments in people like Ishan Kishan that skewed the whole thing, and they've got a little bit of a better balance, I think, this time. And so they've given themselves a little bit more flexibility, and they have a little bit more depth to play with.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with Ross. I think I'm not like overawed by the team. Like, you kind of think with Mumbai Indians that there should be a little bit more Galactico power than that maybe this squad has. On the other hand, like maybe I'm overstating that just because they didn't kind of go into the auction and make any massive splashes. They did already. They already had Bumrah. They already had Surya Kumar Yadav.
Mm.
Like that is I'm well aware that is star power. I was just looking at their auction pickups. The top one is Trent Bolt for 12.5 crore, and he's good, isn't he? Like, I mean, Trent Bolt is really, really good.
He's a New
But
Zealand Galactico, I think you could
he
say.
can't hit sixes. I think that's what I'm saying. There's something here.
You want
that
more
makes-
six power.
I want more six power. I don't think they necessarily need it. They're pretty good. Like, it's not like a fair and flaw in the team. I like it in the auction when teams go and sign someone who hits sixes.
And spent
It makes me feel
£250
good.
million on Tim David.
Exactly. Yeah,
They've learned,
I understand.
Jack. They've been burned by Tim David. They've been burned by the spectre of Tim David before. They've learned from their mistakes and they've moved forwards.
And I can't believe you don't think they've got star power. They've literally got Tendulkar. So
Yes.
what more do you want?
What more could you want?
That is a nice thing that they've done. They've gone quite. I mean, if you're looking at what can maybe go wrong for them, which is always sort of a fun thing to do, they have got. I think they basically paid their best 11 players all of the money, and then if you look a bit further down the list, they're like,
yeah,
Raj Bauer's not getting big game time, is he?
Yeah.
Arjun Tendulkar is signed as a favour. Like, these are guys that they are literally just there to ride the bus. Like, do throwdowns for the first team. So maybe if there's a couple of injuries, rotation and depth would become an issue. But I think the front 11 that they're going to be able to put out should be good. I'd be optimistic, I think, if I was a Mumbai fan.
Yeah, and I think the overseas players is where they've got a little bit more domestic, a little bit more depth on that front. So if Trent Bolt needs a rare statue, you can bring in Reece Topley, and it's not a like for like replacement, but it's actually not too bad. Will Jack's at the top of the order. If someone's not hitting runs, actually you can kind of move some things around, which I think is quite a good thing to do. And I think Majib is a good replacement for Ganzivar.
Yeah. So I think you've hit on pretty much the main points that I was considering, sort of when I was trying to put a lineup together. Basically, you've got 10 guys. Considering the overseas slots that you've got, your four overseas slots. Basically, you've got 10 players who are top tier, and then you're also playing Raj Bauer or someone else, and some sort of impact sub. There is maybe a question of how it all fits together. Like if, for example, like you said, if there was an injury, if, for example, hey, I don't know, Deepak Chahar's injured. We've never seen that before. Who are you going to bring in? Are you going to bring in Arjun Tendulkar, or are you going to, maybe you'll drop Mitchell Santner and then Khan Sharma's your lead spinner, and you can get Corbin Bosch in or something. There's a little bit there where they might have issues. But when I was thinking through this, I think we're still doing it, even like third year into 10-team IPL. You're still comparing this MI side to like the Galacticos of when they were good, and when they were good was when there were 8 teams. Like that talent is still a little bit more spread. So actually having a team where the first 10 are amazing is kind of still still top tier. I think they look pretty mint. I'm excited, barring a couple of injuries, like you say, Jack, because if they do obviously lose a couple of the Indian talent to injury, then the backup is fairly limited, because I guess they didn't have any money left at the auction to pay anyone good, so they all cost 25 crore. But from the first 11, I think they look as good as anyone.
And put all your eggs in the Khan Sharma basket, right? RCB got all the benefit of Khan Sharma last year. He had an economy of 10.58 and an average of 36. So that's exactly what you want.
What happens when people leave RCB in the Chimaswamy, don't we? We know what happens.
Just to drive home sort of how random some of their players that they picked up are. I'm on the ESPN website with all the squad lists up in front of me for this show. They've got a guy called Vignesh Patur. When you click on him, there's no information, no bio, no games, no stats. Like, this guy presumably has been playing cricket, but if he haven't noticed, like,
Mumbai Scouting Network, baby.
this
They've
is
got
what
they've
I'm
got as
talking
few
about.
they've got as few pictures of their players on the IPL website as anyone, I think. Mumbai
Yeah,
Indians.
yeah, yeah. Arjun Tendulkar doesn't even play all the time for Goa. His other domestic team. Like, these are pretty bait players. Like, these are nobodies. But like, it should, it could be fun. I'm not like, I think the front 11 is good. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I
Yeah.
think that is good. Have we heard
But
about the
there is an issue.
Kiwi, Evan Jacobs?
I'm aware he's in the MI squad. Is there further news on Bevan Jacobs?
No, I'm interested to see if he gets a game. He's like one of those guys who just sort of goes bananas every time he bats.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I had sort of like the top three of Rohit, Rickleton, and Will Jacks, but maybe he slots in instead of Will Jacks on occasion or something like that. Like, that six hitting power that you said was lacking, which is once you get past Hardik and that batting lineup, Mitch Santner is you see your guy bench innings. There is maybe a question there.
Robin Minns like six.
he didn't have a great. I'm looking at Bevan Jacobs on the internet now. He didn't have a great UAE T20, whatever that one's called, International T20.
International T20, yeah.
But he's been good in Kiwi land in New Zealand. So yeah,
Kiwi land. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Look,
what weapon are they?
I was going to say let's get things moving.
Yeah.
Mumbai Indians as a weapon, I would say sharks with laser beams. That's not a very good reference for anyone who hasn't seen Austin Powers, but that's what I'm going with Mumbai Indians. On the face of it, they look pretty good, but actually, if you kill the shark, don't get any laser beams, because if their first team's out, they're crap. That's the logical leap I've gone with. It's not the best.
I mean, it's a strong start for the weapon of choice.
Look, I think it is good. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of time for it.
Right.
Did you give us a playing 11?
I didn't. I can I'll run through roughly.
I'll try and do a playing 11.
Yeah. So I've got it down as Rohit, Ryan Rickleton, Will Jacks, Sky, Tilak Varma, Hardik, Santner. One more, which will be the impact sub. Could be Raj Bauer, could be Robin Minns, switching it up, whatever. Chahar, Bolt, and Bumrah when he's fit. That's what I've gone with.
Yeah, you will need a wicketkeeper, won't they? So which Robin Minns can do.
Can't they just give someone the gloves?
Rohit.
I've always wondered this.
Ryan Rickleton can keep.
There you go. Sorted. Nice. Did you make a prediction as well? You have to do a prediction.
I think they'll make playoffs. Assuming everyone's fit, I think they'll be like top four. I think they look decent, especially like looking at some of the other squads. Hey, and they're favourites. 92.
Cool. Right, Max, we're going to take a break. Thank you for talking us through Mumbai Indians. When we come back, it will be the time of the Punjab Kings, probably my favourite team to talk about in the IPL. Not my favourite team, but
Bloody Kings.
They're just fucking weird, aren't they? They're weird in a good way. Everyone's got a friend in their friendship group that everyone talks about behind their back because they're mental. And if you don't have that, then you're the mental one. By the way,
yeah.
That's this Punjab Kings are the mental person.
Maybe
that
next year's previews. Which friend in the friend group is the team? Write that one down.
That is a good one. Right, yeah, we'll be back in a moment.